Good morning. Welcome in. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. It's good to be back. We're on YouTube right now. You can check out the set. It's actually totally different and will be even more so in the next month or so. We're doing a lot of things in here. We've got a golf simulator coming in, which is going to be awesome. And, yeah, we've got a golf simulator coming in studio. And, yes, that'll be sponsored. So, if you're thinking you want it, hey, most valuable real estate in media in the state of Mississippi. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're brought to you by one of the best steakhouses in the country. Speaking of, Kessler Prime and the Renaissance, ribeyes, New York strips, 12-ounce filet, side of crab meat, another side of bacon-wrapped shrimp. Start with some fried crab claws. Escargot, award-winning Elijah Craig bourbon. KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. Unbelievable. Ole Miss and Southern Miss trying to punch their ticket to the Super Regional and host. And then, and this thing's lining up. I mean, really lining up for Ole Miss. They got Murray State today. They're much better than Murray State. And then they host the Duke Blue Devils. Duke has a nice team, far from, some kind of superpower. So this could be another direct, line to Omaha for Mike Bianco. Southern Miss, they'll play at 8 o'clock. Was that an Eastern time? Okay.
Central.
8 o'clock Central at Pete Taylor Park.
Late for the Miami boys. That's like 9 o'clock for them usually, right?
That's right, it is.
I'd keep pushing it.
Okay. 5 o'clock for Ole Miss against Murray State, and they just absolutely smoked Murray yesterday. And then Southern Miss and Miami tonight.
Correct.
All right. And by the way, Ole Miss took Georgia Tech out. That was a hell of a ball game.
It was a good game.
I mean, all kinds of back and forth in that game and lead changes and both coaches trying to find guys who could just get outs, kind of on fumes type deal. And because Georgia Tech can play, they've got a good team. And Ole Miss answered the bell late. And Georgia Tech, man walks. I mean, look at what Mississippi State couldn't throw strikes. And Georgia Tech didn't throw strikes. And you leave that window open for a team like that can absolutely rake. And you're going to get in trouble. Georgia's out, Clemson's out, Vandy's out. I mean, it's been crazy pills and insanity over the weekend as we watch the regionals, and we still got more baseball today in the state of Mississippi. And if they win, you'll have more next weekend. Huge for Oxford and Hattiesburg if they land a super regional. Let's see, USM versus Louisville, if that happened. Dan McDonald, very familiar with the state of Mississippi, Mike Bianco's first right-hand man. That's back when they were super young, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? They got that thing going in Oxford. Absolutely abused Ron Polk and his staff. And that 04, 05, 06 run of super regionals against Texas, Miami, and Virginia, one of those was Brian O'Connor. Brian O'Connor took Ole Miss's manhood and hopes and dreams in one of those super regionals. But those teams were loaded. Dan McDonald and Louisville back in a super regional. Southern Miss playing for one. Duke in a super regional. Ole Miss playing for one. But Georgia was eliminated. So the Rebs have the seed at number 10.
Southern?
Huh?
I think Southern may.
Southern does too.
If they win, they host.
If they win, they host. I don't know what goes on between Miami and Louisville. I haven't run those numbers yet.
I'm not worried about that. Southern's hosting.
What now?
Come on now. Southern's hosting. I'm not worried about
Southern's hosting.
Parlay them and Ole Miss to win it. Let's go.
Hey, the Golden Moon Casino text line is 601-885-3776. Table games and sportsbook inside the moon. Twitter X at Bo Bounds. And the Michelob Ultra caller line, 601-707-3750. Are you excited about us getting a golf simulator?
Whoever's going to sponsor that ought to sponsor this swing.
Yes.
Just make sure there's not a club in my hands. It'll fly. I don't know what they use for a simulator. Is it a club?
Yeah.
So you use a club still?
You use whatever club you want.
Just watch
You
and
can use a
learn.
driver, 7-iron, whatever you want.
I was pretty
3-wood.
Pretty good at golf on the Wii whenever the Wii first came out.
Oh, I could see you playing a lot of Wii. Wilkes had a Wii 100 years ago.
Yeah.
I felt like he was 20. Felt like that was like
8.
5 or 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Had to been.
Yeah, I remember
Oh, man.
playing with him some.
I love that thing.
Yeah. That thing was wild. It was kind of a fad
Well, yeah, somewhat.
because it couldn't go against PlayStation.
Nah, not a chance.
Or what's the other one?
Xbox.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
But it was hot there for a couple of years, right?
So hot.
What were like the top
Oh god.
2 or 3 games? Because you were moving. I remember moving around with it, right? You like if you were playing tennis, you were actually, boom, making a forehand stroke, right? Or a backhand stroke or an overhead stroke. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
But it was all about Mario Kart and driving it.
That's what it was.
It was the driving. And that's what sold it, and boom.
Super Mario?
Super Mario.
What a great game.
Man, what a franchise.
What a franchise.
How much money do you think they've generated?
How many billions over the last 25 years has Super Mario generated?
I don't even know where to put the number.
Who owns it? Sony? I don't even know who has the rights to all that stuff. I'm sure someone does because they bought stock early.
It's Nintendo, yeah.
Oh, Nintendo. That makes sense. I know what Nintendo is. I played that as a kid all the time.
Nintendo.
Maybe not all the time, but some.
Smooth 55
billion. Hold on. I was about to go into Brian O'Connor. Let's go over that one more time. Super Mario has generated $55 billion.
That's correct.
That is awesome.
The Super Mario franchise. That's unreal.
I can remember playing that game 100 years ago and thinking it was the coolest thing in the world.
It was.
Is it still played, or did it lose its legs?
Mario Kart is still.
I guess you just grab a new generation of kids, right?
Well, now they went from the Wii.
Every year you got a new group of 4-year-olds,
right? Who's going to love
5-year-olds, right? It's like travel ball. It's never going away because every year you got a new group of parents that are running. I mean, I can remember years ago. You run out on the field first time your kids are playing sports. That's why that thing will always be funded. Same thing with Super Mario, right?
Oh yeah.
Or cereal that's bad for you.
Well, I didn't also realize that they're making $3 billion off of films. Featured
what?
Yes, featured films have grossed them $3 The Super Mario series
is that annually?
Alone, no.
Okay.
Super Mario series alone has been $26 The Mario spin-off games, another 17. Other Mario games, another 5.
Holy smokes!
That's incredible. The strategy guides that they have made them $1 billion.
Hey, Mississippi State and Starkville, Mississippi won over Virginia and Charlottesville, Virginia. They landed Brian O'Connor, one of the top 5 college baseball coaches in the country. Lifted him, making $1.5 million a year. They took him. They're taking some big-time assistants. So on National Bubba Day, Bubba's a nickname.
Nice.
The Bubbas won. Brian O'Connor this morning is at Duty Noble Field in one of those beautiful loft condos. It's on in Starkville. Jay Powell will join us. We'll tell you when. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. You know, I haven't had access to this. Whoa.
We're going to give Daddy the Rain Man suite. You dig that? We're going to Vegas, Mike.
Vegas! You think we get there by midnight?
Money, we're going to be up 500 by midnight.
Ah, Vegas!
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Hey, they gave Brian O'Connor the Rain Man suite, didn't they? He's in one of the lofts. His other assistant coach is in another loft. Not a bad deal to be in a really, really cool condo overlooking the field that you are now the head baseball coach of.
So dope.
And they're letting people know about it on Twitter, as they should. They didn't have a facility. Grisham pumped in. I don't remember what John Grisham pumped Mississippi State undergrad, but he went up there, 35 years ago, and he made Charlottesville home, and then he pumped in millions. I want to say 12 million, but I can't remember. His son was, I guess, a preferred walk-on or something. Pat McMahon didn't take him. That caused a little bit of a rift. Dr. Keenum's put that back together. Obviously, you got the Grisham Library at Mississippi State. But Grisham pumped in money, and really they haven't done anything since. And that was back when O'Connor was building the Virginia baseball program from the jump. Yeah. And then as things happened, the reset in TV contracts and media rights and media money, the ACC has fallen behind. As you know, that's why Florida State wants out, Clemson wants out, North Carolina want out, and they may battle through the courts, they may not. I don't know how that's the grant of rights thing, and everybody's locked in till 2036. I don't know how that's going to look. But you know that Florida State's mad as hell. You know that Clemson's upset. You know that North Carolina's upset. However, I would have said, why would you have ever signed a grant of rights binding you to be a part of the ACC for that long? But whoever did that, I think it was Swafford, because that's not the current commissioner. I think he got that thing done before he headed out. But anyway, the ACC, as y'all know, does not have a good media deal or football deal.
No.
And the ACC network's never going to take off. But the SEC and the Big Ten are the two conferences that have all the money. Although I'll give the Big 12 credit. I saw their number over the weekend, and they're distributing $560 million.
Well, dang.
They actually have the Pac-12 just did it to themselves. Right. You mix in people who academia and this and that, they should be open for business, but they're not. The Big 12 said this isn't going to happen to us. And they actually did a pretty damn good job and this guy's thinking of anything and everything you can do to generate revenue. But on the Mississippi State, Virginia front, Mississippi State is in the SEC, like Ole Miss. You get the big check. Plus you're committed to baseball. You already built the cathedral. And you don't have to build it in today's construction money. Like if you wanted to do that today, it's $250 million. And that's a good thing. A lot of teams have added on and added on and added on to their baseball stadium, and it will never look like the modern cool look of Duty Noble Field.
Nope.
And Clark and Palmero built that, Polk built that, Cohen, Renfro, Mangum, Tanner Allen. There's a bunch of dudes that did you just drop Brent Rooker?
I have, man. That's a $40 million man.
60.
60, sorry. Yeah,
he signed for 60 with the soon-to-be Las Vegas A's, but they had to make a pit stop in Sacramento.
Love that.
Yeah, which is crazy.
I get you a NorCal stay. It's all right.
Yeah, you can still party.
Oh, yeah.
if you're making that much money in Sacramento. You know, Kevin Johnson was the mayor of Sacramento, former point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
Really?
I was rooting for the Suns in '93 over the Bulls. It was easy to root for Michael. So everybody was rooting for the Bulls and MJ. I was rooting for Barkley and KJ and Marley.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it ripped my heart out.
Just want to let you know, Big Rook sitting at 267 on the year with 13 bombs and 31 ribbies.
He's already got 13 homers and 31 RBIs.
June, he's got another month and a half before the All-Star break, so you got to put him back. You got to hit about 40 bombs this year. There, last year he was teetering. He had like 38, 39 to the end of the year, and he came up and he just came one short.
He came up one. He
hit
hit 39.
He hit a bomb in the next to last game, I believe.
Okay,
and then didn't clip the last one to get a 40. But this year, my man's swinging a bat again.
Can you know Brent Rooker's one of the funniest people? Like he's got that dry wit, dry humor that's perfect for Twitter, kind of like Lane.
Yep.
And like he is really, really funny. The things that he'll do and say on Twitter. Can you imagine what he was thinking when they were playing in front of 27 people in the Oakland A's ballpark in that last year? You remember all those pictures of just section after section after section empty? Crazy. By the way, you know that Brent Rooker has been in the studio. Another guy that got the out of bounds magic. Mangum, Rooker, Minshew, it goes on and on.
We missed it. Yeah, we did.
What?
May 3rd. Well, we didn't miss it, but May 31.
What? Jake Mangum hit a home run.
Mangum goes yard.
No, we didn't miss it. You missed it because you slept all weekend.
That's a good point.
But Jake Mangum hit his first home run back with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Look at him.
And Stacy Mangum, his mom, who's been in studio with Jake, it was the cutest video of her dancing around when he hit it.
That's awesome.
It was so cool. And then they swapped it out with the fan, and the fan was more than, he was excited about it. He was a Tampa Bay Ray fan, and Jake signed a bat and a ball, and they did the trade.
Good.
And then Stacy has the ball. You can see her. She's all over social media, Twitter and Instagram. She's holding the ball, Jake Mangum's first home run ball.
What a swing.
There wasn't any doubt.
And of course, the guy that catches it.
Yeah.
What color is he wearing? Maroon.
Yeah.
Oh, he looks.
Was he a dog too, or did they just put maroon on him?
I don't know. I'm looking. I think there. Who knows? In Houston, that's where they were.
I didn't follow. Okay, it could have been a Mississippi State guy.
I'd like to know.
Y'all help me out if it was.
Yeah, we got to find that out.
The Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776. Jake Mangum got called back up and was and hit a home run.
He looks relieved to hit that bomb, too.
Yeah, I think he's like,
all right, we're here.
He's like, dude, I can hit for some power. He can definitely hit for gap power without a problem.
That's a big bomb.
But the bottom line, he's going to be on base.
Batting fifth. What I tell you now.
Well, they had him second, I think, his first game back, but then they moved him to fifth.
He has peppered the top five.
Good for him, man. Hey, as Jake Mangum says, go local, go with the home team. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. Jay Powell's going to join us at 9:30 today. World Series champ for the Marlins, All-American at Mississippi State. You heard him on the call over the weekend. So Jay Powell, and a lot of you switched over to that because, the Florida State guys were kind of
bad or biased.
Well,
both.
Let's just say this: they tried.
There we go.
They tried.
That'll work.
But the better team won. And I do need to say, Justin Parker and Jake Gautreaux did a magnificent job for Mississippi State. And what Jake Gautreaux went through, 4 head coaches, he could write a book on adversity in the ups and downs. Canizero, Henderson, Lamonis, Parker. Jake Gautreaux and Justin Parker did a hell of a job for Mississippi State. And Hunter Hines ended up having a hell of a season. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Hey, good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. I have to drop this again because it's fitting with what Brian O'Connor and Kevin McMullen are doing. Brian O'Connor, the new head baseball coach at Mississippi State. Kevin McMullen, assistant coach.
They're gonna give Daddy the Rain Man suite. Do you dig that? We're going to Vegas, Mike.
Vegas! You think we get there by midnight?
Money, we're gonna be up 500 by midnight.
Ah, Vegas!
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Well, they gave Brian O'Connor the Rain Man suite. He gets to stay in a loft condo for as long as he wants, overlooking Duty Noble Field while he's recruiting and working the portal. He is your new head baseball coach at Mississippi State. 9 super regionals, 7 College World Series, played for the national title twice, and won one. Don't forget, and I didn't realize this when I was there, but when I was sitting in the stands in 2000, he was at Duty Noble Field during the regional when Maneri was the head coach for Notre Dame. Brian O'Connor was an assistant coach at Notre Dame. And that was it was Travis Chapman and Tom Martin, I think, that put on a clinic. And they had a hell of a run at a place that's, can be difficult, although they've done a good job up there. I mean, Notre Dame was just in the Super Regional a few years ago in 2021. And Lamonis told me after they won the title, he said the 2 best teams we played all year, I thought, top to bottom, in the field, at the plate, and on the mound, were Texas and Notre Dame. And don't forget, they had to play Virginia and Vanderbilt to win it, which would, remember, the last time Mississippi State played Virginia, Brian O'Connor national championship year, they beat Virginia with the Tanner Allen swing, right? And so Virginia was on that side of the bracket along with Texas. We're talking about a loaded field, MSU, Virginia, and Texas on that side of the bracket. So Brian O'Connor had already been at Duty Noble Field. Okay. Before the new stadium, Jackson. But Brian O'Connor was on that staff in 2000 when Mississippi State won the regional against Notre Dame and Paul Maneri. O'Connor was an assistant coach there from 1995 to 2003. And they reached the College World Series in 2002.
And then he made the transition?
He went from Notre Dame to Virginia.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's had 2 jobs in the past 30 years, is what you're telling me.
That's exactly right. Notre Dame with Paul Maneri.
Wow.
And then him being the head coach with 9 super regionals, 7 College World Series, 2 national championship appearances, and a title.
It's a lifer, man. Give him the support, he'll stay.
Look, he's only 54 years old.
Yeah.
The guy can he coach as long as he wants this day and age. Look at him. He takes care of himself. But let's just say he wants to make a 10-year run and make $20 million. And that would be huge for Mississippi State. But more importantly, you want to put yourself in position to go to a super. It's all about the supers. Once you get to 16, then, you can kind of see Omaha. He wants to put this roster in position, give Ole Miss, Southern Miss, they're in position to go to super regionals. Okay. Other teams like Florida State and Duke have punched their ticket. And put yourself in position to go to the and to host. You got to host some. You're not going to host every year, but because it's too competitive in the SEC, but you've got to host, I don't know, ideally once every 3 or 4 years. So if he could host, 3 times, possibly 4, and you don't ever know, like Ole Miss is running into, who's going to lose on the other side, or Southern Miss, who's going to lose on the other side of the bracket, which means if you win your regional, you get to host, even though you weren't a national seed, because we've had national seeds going down left and right.
Yeah, I mean, number 1.
Right.
Go.
Vanderbilt's gone.
Go.
Wright State, put them out.
Where's Wright State at? Where are they from?
I don't know. Are they in Indiana?
I have no clue. Let me look at it.
I'm not even sure, my man.
I mean,
Didn't they have some decent basketball teams at times? Maybe. I think they're one of those, maybe.
Dayton, Ohio.
Ooh, I missed on that.
Dayton.
What did I say? Indiana.
Yeah, that's close.
Well, that's close.
That's close enough.
I mean, what's the difference?
There isn't.
Well, Ohio's a better sports state. Well,
Oh, easy.
I mean, you got the
Pacers are in the finals, baby.
Yeah, they did beat the Knicks.
Thank the Lord.
Whoa.
Can't stand the Knicks.
You're not in?
Nah.
Oh, because you're Celtics.
Yeah, I like
That's
Knicks.
right. They just took your Celtics.
They did.
And your best player popped his Achilles,
Yeah.
which I hate to see. I got to see him play. Lee Pace and I went down to New Orleans in January, and I got to see Tatum play.
Unreal.
And he hit the last second shot against the Pelicans like I sip on coffee.
I'm telling you.
The guy is silky. I don't think you realize how good he is until you see Jason Tatum play in person. You don't realize how well he moves around the court and how physically dominant he is. Like, he's built.
Yeah.
He moves people around in the NBA.
And people think he's a string bean.
No,
That's
he's
just
strong
huge.
he's strong as a bull.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, we got a lot going on.
Yeah. Calipari's going to be at the finals, all finals. He gets to go up there and, flaunt his old players that are up there.
What?
Now, he's got multiple players in the finals. Calipari does.
Well, Cal will find courtside seats.
His media ways.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He'll sit beside a celebrity.
Yep.
And he'll have on Arkansas red, which is still weird to me. I haven't quite transitioned from Cal being in Kentucky blue for years. We forget how long he was there to now Arkansas red. Arkansas is now a basketball, baseball school. Mississippi State's now, I guess, a basketball, baseball school, but you got to turn it and be a football school soon too.
4 weeks ago, they pitched a fit because he was taking pictures with the old Memphis guys. The old Kentucky players.
Why? It's still promoting.
Exactly.
It's
his guy.
If a fan can't.
MVP. Sorry. Oh.
I mean, he's doing is saying, hey, look, since all the way back to Marcus Camby or even before when he was an assistant at Pitt, and I don't remember if anybody went to the NBA there from there, but I'm sure I know they have. I'm talking about while he was there.
Right.
Cal has driven just dozens and dozens of players to the league.
How many do you think it is?
And what he did at Kentucky was simply amazing. You could argue he should have won another national championship, and that's fine. But, dude, he recruited a bunch of players to go on to the NBA and got all over that one and done thing. Problem is, I think he realized it a little too late, and now he's flipping the script with the portal. It's so funny because Cal won with a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds, and that's extremely difficult to do once you get into March Madness. Like when they ran into Wisconsin when they were undefeated.
Yes.
Did Wisconsin have more like basketball talent and upside and athleticism? No, but they had a bunch of 22 and 23-year-olds, and Cal was playing with a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds in that first game in the I think they lost in the semis, not the national championship when they were undefeated that year. But my point is now in the portal, whether you're Lane, whether you're Cal, whether you're Jans, whether you're Beard, whether you're Brian O'Connor, you want to be older through the portal because, you have the ability to go stack juniors and seniors.
Right.
And look at Florida this year. I mean, they had a bunch of dudes who had played a ton of basketball. Look at Ole Miss this year. Beard had one of the oldest teams in the country.
Yeah.
Old guys who had
Right.
just games after games after games under their belt.
Matters, man.
And Padula had played forever. What I said last year, you kept forgetting. You feel like he's been around forever since he started since 8th grade at MRA.
Yeah.
Josh Hubbard was only a sophomore this past year and a freshman the year before. Padula was 2-3 years older. These things matter. And that's why Cal realizes he wants to be old with that Arkansas Razorback team.
How many players do you think he's sent to the NBA draft, selected in the draft? His career.
Oh, gosh.
I just want to know where you put the number at.
Well, give me an over-under so I can decide if I go over or
give me
under.
over under 30.
Over.
Yeah, well over. Over under 40?
Over.
50. 50's a high number.
That is a high number for basketball.
I'd say bunch.
15 years at Kentucky, Camby,
32 total.
Derrick Rose and all the guys at Memphis.
Right.
I'm going over.
Let's go over. Over, under 60. That's a lot of freaking players, man.
25 years. Plus another 5 or 6 at UMass.
I mean,
I'm going to go over one more time.
58.
Oh!
Right there, though, man. I mean,
58.
41 first rounders.
41 first rounders by John Calipari.
4 number ones.
4 number ones.
I mean,
do you have them in there?
Yeah, the 4, yeah, for
Hold
sure.
on.
You got them.
Did Rose go number one?
Yeah, Rose went number 1.
Did Anthony Davis go
AD
number 1?
went number 1.
Did John Wall go number 1?
John Wall went number 1. I don't know if you'll get this one. He's still playing.
Hold on, Boogie? No, hold on. Is he a guard or a postman?
He's a postman. He is every bit of a postman.
Oh, the one at Minnesota.
Cat.
Yeah.
No, he's not in Minnesota anymore.
Oh, he got moved to
New York.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the 4 number ones?
Those 4.
Damn, if Derrick Rose, if his knees don't get hurt,
man, it's yeah.
He's like Allen Iverson.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah,
I got to see him live in 2008 in Little Rock when Stansbury won his first game.
Yeah.
And Cal won his first game.
Right.
And Derrick Rose and Jamont Gordon and Charles Rhodes and I can't remember that other unbelievable player on Memphis' team. He was insane. Kind of a combo 3-4. It was a hell of a game, but the best player on the floor, and I give Jamont a lot of credit. He was great. The best player on the floor who was unstoppable was Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
The way that he could stop and elevate. Like we talk about how Hubbard elevates and then releases so high. That's why you can't get, I mean, it doesn't matter that he's 5'10". Once he comes off the floor and then releases, he may as well be 6'8".
Yeah.
Derrick Rose would stop and pop from inside the 13, 14, 15 feet. Even a Charles Rhodes couldn't get it because by the time he released the shot, it was like he was
just
6'9".
going up. Yeah, I mean, you're just going up. You're trying to recover.
His feet would be at like Charles Rhodes' chest.
Golly. While he was
He's
in
one of the
Kentucky.
best. I've been to a bunch of NBA games. He's one of the best players I've ever seen play in my life.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cal at Kentucky. It's only 15 years. 49 draft picks.
What?
35 first rounders in 15 years. That is 2 a year.
All right, I got to get back into Brian O'Connor.
know.
Can we drop that audio?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we've got some Brian O'Connor. We're going to have Jay Powell on. Hold on. Let me see what TA said, Tanner Allen. We're going back and forth here. Yeah. All right, that may be a little bit later. Jay Powell will join us at 9:30 on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. And this is Brian O'Connor. Now he didn't go full blown Augie Garrido where he F-bombed every fourth word. You know that great video that's out on Twitter on Augie Garrido telling his players this is life and death. I mean, the guy's a maniac, okay? At Cal State Fullerton in Texas. No wonder he and Kevin Costner hit it off as super good friends. But Augie Garrido is one of my favorite baseball coaches of all time. He did an amazing job at Cal State Fullerton in Texas. Brian O'Connor goes a little bit Augie Garrido, but you can tell he has an edge here. Now, if you watch the video, you can tell how freaking ticked he is. But this is the edge and the balls and the stuff that you want to push you to go where you want to go. This is Brian O'Connor after a game that they lost, and you can tell he's not happy. He's the new head baseball coach at MSU. He was at Virginia, 9 Super Regionals, 7 College World Series. This is Brian O'Connor.
Better baseball team today. Right now, they're the better baseball team, clearly. In every facet of the game, they're the better baseball team, and they played a heck of a game, and congratulations to Richmond. They came in here and outplayed us in every facet of the game. Part of that is on me. I'm the leader of the program, and I am obviously not succeeding about getting our players ready to play every day and play tough, competitive baseball up to the Virginia baseball standards. So that's on me. It's not on our players. Okay, I own that, right? And so I take responsibility for it, and we're going to just hopefully work and learn and get better. And our competitive spirit and our competitiveness in every phase of the game will get better, because I'm going to absolutely demand it. Because it's not about winning and losing the ball game. It's about being ready to play from pitch one, and we are not doing that. Okay, and that's on me. Okay, they're 18 to 24-year-old kids. Okay, I'm the grown man that's been here for 20 years, and I freaking own it. Okay, that effort today is on me. All right, and but I can promise you, the effort will be better. Okay, because if it's not, I'll find the guys that will show up every day and play with the right intent, that the standards of what this baseball program is built on. That's what I owe everybody.
Your pitching in the second half of the game really settled down. Osinski was good. Was it,
Yeah.
At that point, is it a case of just not being able to get the timely hit?
Yeah, sure. That's part of it, but we were sleepwalking through the first 4 innings. I thought Osinski did a really nice job.
All right, that's
Drew
enough.
Kenning
We got what we wanted. Here's what I said several weeks ago, and some of you thought it was funny, and some of you may have eye rolled, and it's all good either way. You need a throat cutter. That's the way it is. College baseball has become ruthless. It wasn't years ago. It is today. And some of you do, if you knew what goes on behind the scenes. Look, travel ball has driven a lot of this, which is fine. But it's a throat cutter business. And did you hear him? If they're not going to do what we need to do, I'll go find some other play. That's got to be the mentality.
Love that. That
has got to be the mentality. And you've had too many players who I'm sure were nice guys, but I'm not. Nice guys can be,
they don't win,
whatever. You've had too many players who were not SEC caliber. Your lineup should be SEC caliber throughout the roster. You've got to, and by the way, look, have you had high end guys? Yeah, I mean, we've gone through all the Bednars,
sure,
the Ethan Small, the TA, the Mangum, the Rooker. Jackson mentioned a couple more earlier. Okay, the Westberg and Foscue you've got to have those guys. Premier guys that are going to go in the first, second, or third round. But I'm going to say this too. You've got to raise your floor. You've rolled out too many guys who should be at UT Martin. And that's unacceptable. Or Troy. And it's just, that's not who you are.
Well,
and you've got to get a plan and actually build the roster to the modern era and NIL with a combination of high school. Jackson told me about a couple of dudes they've got out of Purvis.
Yeah, boy.
Whew.
JoJo.
All right. So you got to go get, as Ole Miss and Auburn and LSU do, you got to go get high school dudes.
They got 50 of them in the state going D1.
And then, but you got to go get portal guys, that can absolutely get after it.
Right.
You played too many guys that were borderline. And you've got to raise your floor. A lot of times we only look at, I want the next Westberg. I get that. Absolutely. You want the next Gonzalez. You want the next Elko. You want the next Kessinger, Mangum, all these guys, Foscue. But you got to raise your floor. By the way, give Mike Bianco credit.
Oh, yeah.
He did a great job in the portal.
But did they not
He and his assistant coaches, because Tennessee took their liver and their spleen.
Right.
And yet Ole Miss is playing a team that they're superior to. And going for another suit. I don't know how many this will be for Mike, but it's a ton. He's been in a running truckload of super regionals. And then Coach Oz may punch his ticket, first one as a head coach, into the super regional today. Ole Miss plays Murray State at 5. They're favored. Southern Miss plays Miami. Kind of give that a push in the Pete. Late at night tonight, Jackson Meadows told me, at 8 o'clock.
That's right.
But back to Mississippi State. You haven't had the continuity. What you got?
No, I was just saying. No, I'm looking at the Purpose Boys, the twins that are Mr.
Oh, yeah,
Baseball,
okay.
both of them Mr. Baseball.
This has been a weird program because it is your most successful program, even though you've had a tremendous amount of success in football and basketball and women's hoops and other, da-da-da. But this program is weird. It has been a little bit of an enigma in that you had Polk, who was a good coach, not great, but good. And from 77 to 97. And he drove your fan base to love it, crave it, and he is the reason why you have that commitment quotient, okay? But you didn't do what you needed to do in the postseason, right? And then you went with McMahon, and Larry Templeton wasn't going to fund at the level that Mac was promised and wanted, okay? And I think Mac would have been an absolute star if he'd have stayed. He had that throat cutter edge mentality that you needed. Then you brought back Polk, and unfortunately that didn't go well. And then Cohen started this whole new edge throat cutter deal because Bianco and McDonald were throat cut. I mean, they were just absolutely abusing you around the state at Hillcrest and other spots, Memphis area and so on for years before Cohen got in there and got it up and running. Now it's been weird because you've won. You've pumped a ton of players into MLB like Renfro and Mangum and Rooker. But don't you feel like it's been a revolving door? Like Kim Kardashian dating NBA players?
Easy.
I mean, it's like you go Cohen, Cannizzaro, Henderson, Lamonis, Parker, and now you got Brian O'Connor. You feel like you don't feel like you landed an A-lister and a guy that could be there 10 years. And could bring you another national championship and play for another one. You want to live over 10 years. You want to be in 4 super regionals, right? You want to pump. Look, what did I read here? Brian O'Connor has coached 102 Major League Baseball draft picks, including 14 first rounders. You don't just first rounders don't just walk down the street every day. No, they don't. And Ole Miss and Mississippi State have had a running truckload of talent go through their program. But you don't just get first rounders. 31 of his players have reached the major leagues. He was named ACC Coach of the Year 5 times. That's in a league with Florida State, Miami, and North Carolina. And don't kid yourself, NC State can play, Yeah. He earned National Coach of the Year honors 3 times. Congratulations to Zach Selman, Dr. Mark Keenum, and the alums who stepped up and said, it's time to get this thing right. And tip of the cap to Jake Gautreaux, who's been there since, 2018? Through all those coaches?
Yep.
Jake Gautreaux should be a head coach at G5 or Power 4. And Justin Parker, who did an amazing job this year to lead you to the postseason. Florida State was just a better team. That's the kind of roster you got to put together. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Jay Powell at 9:30.
Say, kids, what time is it?
It's 9 a.m., and this ain't no K show. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. As Mississippi's #1 morning show rolls on the Zone 105.9 and online at thezone1059.com.
What? Brian O'Connor, A-list coach, top 5 coach in America in college baseball, left Virginia to go to Mississippi State. What? We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're brought to you by Mills Contracting. And Matt Mills and the team are doing an unbelievable job and building a great company. Assisted living facilities, strip centers, unbelievable community center they just built in Starkville. Mills Contracting in Gluckstadt, Mississippi. Matt Mills and the team are ready to build your next project with over 35 years of experience in general contracting and construction. Mills Contracting in Gluckstadt, assisted living facilities, community centers, state parks, and strip centers, all powered by Mills Contracting in Gluckstadt. Matt Mills and the team there. You're listening to 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Bo Bounds, Jay Meadows with you. We're here on a Monday. Ole Miss playing for Super Regional against Murray State. This thing is lined up. That was a hell of a game against Georgia Tech yesterday. Congratulations to Ole Miss for closing that thing out against a good team. Danny Hall has done a great job at Georgia Tech. We had him on the show years ago. I went over to Georgia Tech Regional with my buddy Stephen Clay in 2005. Mississippi State was playing there. It was in Ron Polk 2. And we had a good time that weekend, hanging out in Atlanta. Mississippi State didn't win the regional. That was at a time when they were still not doing what they needed to do in the postseason. But he won forever at Georgia Tech. And he stepped down. That was it. He had already announced his retirement. And boom. How about that? And Mike Bianco and Ole Miss beat a good Georgia Tech team. There was lead changes and craziness, but they did what they needed to do to close that puppy out. And now and then they smoked Murray State. Then they'll play Murray State again today. So that's line. And then if they win, which they should, they'll host Duke in the Super Regional, which I think Duke's
All right.
nice, but I think Duke's far from what, especially when you got Hunter Elliott. I mean, that's the thing. When you're throwing Hunter Elliott or JB Middleton like Southern Miss, woo, Super Regional, that's delicious because you get that one and then it's on, right? Best 2 or 3. So Southern Miss will play Miami. Did you say 8 o'clock tonight, Wild Man?
That's it. 8 p.m.
I'm still not convinced that you've got that right.
I'm not either.
But I'm gonna go with it.
I'd go with it.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, just him looking at these nicknames and what all they're going to do with this stuff.
Brian O'Connor?
Yeah, I mean,
all right,
it's
give me the 3 best, in your opinion.
Okay.
Hold on, let me lay this out. Tanner Allen's coming on next.
Well, get his opinion.
2021 National Player of the Year, national champ, Tanner Allen. At Mississippi State. Jay Powell, All-American, MLB, World Series champ. Jay Powell joins us at 9:30. So the last 45 minutes of the show, all interviews. And We may have Steve Robertson after the show, and if we do, we'll post it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Search Out of Bounds with Bo Bounds. The Golden Moon Casino text line is 601-885-3776. 885-3776. Twitter X at Bo Bounds. We've been active on Twitter, more so than usual. And the Bush Light caller line is 601-707-3750. All right. Sun Devil Macy. I can't get into all that. I'll get into that a little bit later. All right. What do you have? 3 best nicknames for the new head baseball coach at Mississippi State, Brian O'Connor.
Omaha Connor.
Okay. I like that.
All right. I'm okay with that.
Omaha Connor, actually. That's
not bad.
Okay.
We're off to a decent start.
That is a nice start.
The Klanga Commander, which I don't know about that one.
I'm
good on that.
I'm not good on that.
The best one here, though, is going to be the Dog Father.
The Dog Father?
And play the Godfather stuff when he walks out.
Oh, that's nice.
And so then the whole outfield, it turns into the mob. I'm telling you.
Well done.
Yeah, if they want this, they can have it. They're welcome. Turn into the whole mob. You know, you got certain parts of the outfield. There'll be the enforcer. Certain, you can do whatever you want out there because the mob's deep. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna drill that. I mean, because you gotta have something that involves everybody and gets everybody hot and bothered, and you can do cool stuff with in the stands.
Let's go over it again. Omaha Connor,
yeah, I like
or
that.
Dog Father.
Yeah, I think
let's ask our listeners which one. Is there one more that you really like? Because I'm going to throw out the text line and get a little feedback.
I hate to go to it, but the Coach O is just so simple.
No, that's out.
I think it's out. So is it BOC? Is that
BOC's cool.
Yeah.
That's got a cool factor.
Yeah.
And BOC can be for obviously Brian O'Connor or Bulldog O'Connor.
Bulldog O'Connor.
All right. On the Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776. Which one do you like better as far as his nickname? Omaha Connor or Dogfather?
Dogfather commands a certain presence, doesn't it?
His nickname is Oak. Yeah, I know. But
it's a tree.
We're going to have another nickname because we're trendsetters and
That's right.
We do stuff before everybody else in this space of sports talk radio and sports marketing. In fact, we may have just dialed up one of the coolest remotes ever. And we've done some cool remotes, but we were texting somebody about 45 minutes ago, and if this lines up, holy Mary Olzap. We are the Out of Bounds Show. We're brought to you by Rick's Pro Truck. Let's go spraying bedliners, lift kits, tires, and wheels, all powered by Rick's Pro Truck. And there are 3 locations. Trucks live here. RicksProTruck.com. Spray and bedliners, lift kits, tires, and wheels. We need to do another giveaway through Rick's Pro Truck, so I'll have to reach out to Justin on that. What do you got, man?
Syndicate Saturdays for the mob boss.
Ooh.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Ooh.
The Dogfather stuff run by the Dogfather. Oh, I like the official student section. Their rule or their slogan: loyal to the Dogfather, ruthless to the rest.
Well, you got a throat cutter.
You got one.
You do.
Family runs the dude.
Tanner Allen coming up next. TA in the house on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Then Jay Powell will go back to back, former Hail State Dogs. Big day today for Southern Miss and Coach Oz and Ole Miss and Mike Bianco. Mike Bianco ain't going anywhere. He's going to coach at Ole Miss as long as he wants. Now we got some Brian O'Connor and Mike Bianco. They've faced each other before in a super regional. This is just going to get better and better. The show is driven by your next X-Mark zero-turn mower from Hartley Equipment in Gluckstadt, Mississippi on Church Road. All right. There's a new head baseball coach in Starkville, Mississippi. Brian O'Connor was at Virginia. Our next guest is more than familiar, considering the game that he had in 2021 in the College World Series against a very, very talented Brian O'Connor squad. And don't forget that Cohen and the crew, Renfro and Frazier, went up in 2013 to Virginia in a super regional and won on their home field. But Brian O'Connor, 9 super regionals, 7 College World Series, played in the National Championship Series twice, and won the national title. He's now Mississippi State's baseball coach. Selman, Keenum, and alums stepped up and lifted an A-list coach. And he's in Starkville. They're tweeting out pictures from the loft and the stadium and so on today, as they should, as the portal opens. We welcome in 2021 National Player of the Year and National Champ at Hale State. Tanner Allen joins us on the Out of Bounds show. TA, you're familiar with how good this Virginia program was under Brian O'Connor, aren't you?
Very familiar. Very familiar. I think we hit this one out the park, man. I really do.
I agree. Look, you know this. In baseball, these guys don't move around much. I mean, it is few and far between. Most time they get somewhere, and if they're having success, they stay 15 to 20 years. So to lift O'Connor in season 22 is a home run for the program that you played for. How good was that squad back in 2021 that y'all played?
They were really good, man. It was, like I said, the thing I remember is it was just a hard-fought game all the way to the end. You know, after we had the big 8th inning, they came right back the next inning and hit a home run, got runners in scoring position. But thank God we had, a guy named Landon Sims who was able to come in the game and shut the door. But, man, when I first saw it, the first thing that came to my mind is, our program, our expectation is to be in Omaha every single year, okay? And that's just a reality of our expectation. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, ever since I started watching the College World Series, I swear to you, it feels like Virginia's there every year. So right there in the conversation, and the Supers and Omaha, they're there. So I believe this is a really, really good hire. I told somebody the other night jokingly, last night, I'm like, this is about the only guy that I would have liked north of Tennessee to come down here and coach us.
Tanner Allen on the Out of Bounds show and the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line, 2021 National Player of the Year. He's excited that Brian O'Connor is the new head baseball coach. I'm sure TA will meet him this week or next. The portal opens today, so there's a lot of work to do. Plus, they're hoping to retain Ace Reese and some other guys. Hey, TA, you hit from the left side, one of the best hitters in college baseball. What do you see with Ace Reese and how much talent, what all he can do with the baseball bat?
Man, he's a very special hitter. And, this past weekend, I know he didn't have the best weekend, but it's different, man. When your postseason rolls around and you're the best player, you try to hold yourself to a higher standard and try to perform, and you start trying to do too much. And that's all that happened. He's a very special hitter, man. The thing with me is what I like to see is I notice he's got the power, right? There's a lot of guys that got power, but, man, he was hitting 375. That means he's putting a barrel on the ball a lot, not just hitting home runs. Like, he's splitting gaps, hitting doubles and stuff like that. And he's hitting left-handed pitching really good all year. Now, this past weekend, all he was doing was spinning off the all-speed and was late to the fastball. He was in between stuff, right? So I wish I'd have been able to tell him if we'd have won last time, but, hey, look, you need to go up there and pick one and just hunt it. Don't guess for it, just hunt it. And when you get it, let it happen. And but, man, special talent, probably one of the best hitters in the country, probably if not the best third baseman in the country. So he had a really good year. I hope we can get him back. I know our Hale State family would love to have him back, and he'd be a big part of our team next year.
He is Tanner Allen on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. The MSU fan base is elated. I mean, our text line is insane. Brian O'Connor, top 5 baseball coach in America. Number 2 in winning percentage, only behind Corbin, the last 20-plus years, is now the new head coach for Mississippi State. All right, so did you see one of your close friends hit a home run over the weekend, Jake Mangum?
I did. He, I didn't know he had that much power at right center. He'd laugh if I told him that. But man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just being real with you, and I know how the professional game works. When he got hurt, I was really concerned. But to see that the Rays sent down one of their top prospects, Chandler Simpson, back to AAA, to open the spot back up for Jake tells me what they think of him, man, and he has earned that. So that is awesome for him. And I know Stacy got the home run on video. Everybody got it on video. A really cool moment. So if anybody knows Jake Mangum and knows his story, you can't help but just pull for the guy. So I'm extremely, extremely happy for him.
Yeah, no doubt. What's happening? Are you giving a bunch of lessons right now?
So what I'm doing, everybody's like, I'm getting grilled on Twitter. Everybody's like, yeah, you're not doing anything, you bum. I'm like, hold on now. All right, look, I don't care. I really don't keep my personal stuff out there. But man, what I'm doing right now is I'm running a lot of baseball clinics, teaching guys baseball, and I'm about to start my own baseball academy. So that's what I got in the makings. A lot of it's going to be online. Majority of it's going to be online. And then a lot is what I'm going to do is, man, I plan on training a select group of guys that I pick and give them the best, training, advice, direction they can have to the guys that want to go play big-time college baseball. So that's what I'm going to start doing right there.
I like
that. Of course, I got the keynote speaking stuff still going on too, but I got to put that on pause right now to get this academy off the ground.
I like it. The TA Baseball Academy. How does that sound?
That's what it's going to be, man. It's going to be what it is literally I'm going to be cranking out and training players to play the game and be just like and train them the way I was when I was in college. And I feel like that's got a lot of value, man. These parents out there's kids out there that are always trying to figure out what they got to do to take their game to the next level, and I don't think there's anybody better in the South to help them do that than me because I've lived it firsthand.
I don't think there's any doubt. You started day one in the SEC as a freshman, and then, of course, became the 2021 National Player of the Year. So y'all follow Tanner Allen on social media, Instagram and Twitter over the next few weeks or month or so. He's going to roll out the TA Baseball Academy. And one of the sweetest swings in the history of college baseball, big-time numbers, national champ. He's going to roll out an awesome baseball academy and train the elite of the elite who want to take it to another level. TA will do it again soon, hopefully in studio when you're coming through Jackson, Mississippi. And I hope to see you in Jackson or Starkville soon, my man.
Good seeing you, Bo. I appreciate it, brother. I had a blast. See you soon.
Tanner Allen, 2021 National Player of the Year. He's going to start the TA Baseball Academy. TA joined us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Bundle your auto and home and save. Go local, go with the home team, as Jake Mangum tells us, who ripped his first Major League Baseball home run over the weekend for the Tampa Bay Rays. And it was so awesome watching Stacy Mangum celebrate and seeing Jake get there. Unbelievable. He's a 30-year-old rookie. That's what they said. Unbelievable. Resiliency. TA, thanks for joining us on the show, the TA Baseball Academy. We'll talk more about that once he rolls that out. Jay Powell coming up next. All right, let's go over it again. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue, the official healthcare provider of the Out of Bounds Show. Brian O'Connor, former Virginia coach, is now the new Hell State baseball coach. So 9 super regionals, 7 College World Series, played for the national championship twice, and won one. Brian O'Connor is a top 3, worst case top 5 college baseball coach in America. He's now in Starkville as the new coach and bringing 2 assistants and a baseball administrator with him. And they're tweeting out pictures of staying in the loft and of Duty Noble Polk Dement Stadium. So this is it's the best hire in the history of Mississippi State athletics as far as his resume coming in. Now we'll see what happens. You've had guys have enormous amount of success in Polk, Mullen, Schaefer, among others. Richard Williams, Final Four, but this is one hell of a hire. So we thought we'd welcome in former Hell State All-American, Major League Baseball player, World Series champ. He also calls the games and does a good job on the Hell State Baseball Network. Jay Powell joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Jay, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, man. Good to be here.
What are you going on? Just a few hours of sleep?
Not many. We got a little bit, but it was definitely an exciting night, and I think a lot of folks are waking up this morning and definitely in an excited mood and excited about seeing what the future holds.
Yeah, well, let's talk. All right, so this program means the world to you. You played there, and then you parlayed that into an MLB career. You follow them, you call games throughout the year. You know, as a former player, when you see that they just lifted an A-list guy, he's number 2 winning percentage the last 25 years in college baseball, only behind Corbin. What does that mean to you, Jay Powell?
Well, I mean, as far as a hire, I mean, none of us know what is going to take place next few years, but I mean, I don't see how you could have really done any better. I mean, Brian is what he's done, and I just think not only that, I think it's a good fit. You know, there's some coaches out there that probably would do a great job, but it's got to be the right fit for the culture, for the university. And I really feel like that Brian is that. I mean, I don't know honestly how you could have done any better than what they did with bringing him in.
All right. So you got the portal that opens today. Let's talk about Ace Reese. He may not have had, baseball is difficult. As you know, everybody goes through tough stretches. He may not have had the weekend that he wanted, but he is insanely talented. And you've seen this young man, play throughout the season. I'm going to get to McPherson and Charlie Foster, some of the young pitchers that may be retained, because I thought Foster looked really good. He didn't get to throw a lot this year. And I thought McPherson pitched well too. But when you watch Ace Reese, this guy is a star. What jumps out at you, Jay Powell?
Well, the ability, obviously, the hitting ability is really something special. The power. I mean, he's got a chance to be a really a big time player. I mean, you look at the way you build your lineup around. You try to find these guys in the middle of the lineup, and Ace is that guy. And there's only a handful of them probably around college baseball. And I think at this point, he's kind of target number 1. You've got to do whatever you can to hold on to Ace. And, in a perfect world, I think they probably wait a day or two to let the dust settle from this season, making this announcement. But you don't have that luxury with the way college sports are now. And it's, you have to hit the ground running. And we've got some key pieces on that team that you have to hold on to. And now with the portal opening, you got to be very aggressive in it. And I think that's, as soon as the season, there was some talk of the announcement and why not wait a couple of days? I don't think you've got that luxury. I really don't.
You can't. You just can't. And I think you're hitting on something, Jay. Justin Parker and Jay Gautreaux did a phenomenal job the last 6 weeks of the season. And they're both uber competitive, and you know both of them. And you're friends with both of them. And I like both of them, and they've been great to us. But like Selman and Brian O'Connor didn't make the rules, I think is what you're saying. And while I understand there could have been a little bit of frustration, also heat of the moment, you just lost a tough game. You called it that they were up 2-0 and could have had a chance to win. But as you said, the rules are what they are. None of these guys made them, and you got to do what you got to do to keep the program moving forward. Right, Jay?
Yep. And I think they realized, and I'll give them credit. I think they realized, Zach, look, it is what it is. There are people left and right trying to get Ace Reese, and they're trying to get some of these young pitchers, and they were going to go all in. It's just, it was coming, and you don't have the ability to say, okay, let's let the dust settle, let these guys you just don't have that time. Unfortunately, you've got to do this. And look, like you said, as far as the hire, this kind of sends a message that, hey, we're not messing around. Like, this is, we're pushing chips in, and that stadium was built for one thing, and it's championship baseball. And, by gosh, we're going to bring it back.
Jay Powell, All-American at MSU, a decade plus in MLB, joins us on the Out of Bounds show. What'd you see from Charlie Fall? He didn't get to pitch as much as he wanted to this weekend, but, highly recruited and sought after. What did you think about his outing this weekend?
Charlie, I've got Charlie up in the Cape this summer and Chatham with me. And from day one, those coaches talk about how talented he is. Charlie's plus fastball, the stuff is very good. He's deceptive, hard to pick up. There was talk even early in the year of him maybe being an SEC weekend guy. That's how much they thought of him talent-wise. So the stuff's there, and it's just unfortunate that, we didn't get to see more of him. But you hold on to Charlie. I've said all, Ryan McPherson's one of my favorite guys I've seen as a freshman step on campus. And you've got some real good pieces. Luke Dotson, Evan Thierry's turned into a really good weekend guy. There's some pieces that you need to hold on to, and Charlie's one of them, definitely.
I thought McPherson looked really good, too, over the weekend and battled his tail off in a game. You've been there. In a game with everything on the line in a hostile environment as a freshman. What'd you see yesterday, Jay?
I saw a kid that the environment never gets to him, and even yesterday it didn't. He goes in a tough situation. He tries to make a play at second base. Hey, I did the same thing in the second game of the World Series. And if he makes that throw, now you got to run it first with no outs, but he just pulled him off the bag a little bit. But the moment is never too big for Ryan, and I've said that all along for him all year. I'm telling you, but to me, he's got a chance to be big time. The stuff is electric, and he's only going to get better. Showed an ability to come back yesterday on short rest, 1 day rest, and throwing 41 pitches, and the stuff didn't drop off. So I don't know whether you keep him in the back end of the bullpen. When I see him, I start thinking of a young Landon Sims sometimes, or do you kind of put him in the rotation? That's what they're going to have to figure out next year.
How impressed were you, good grief, with that Florida State starting pitching, Jay? Good.
Well, you talk about Ace struggling a little bit, and a lot of that had to do with Jamie Arnold and Wes Mendez. Look, Jamie Arnold's slider is as good as I've seen. He reminded me, and he's not as talented. Now, don't get me wrong, but his arm slide and the way his slider and his fastball tunneled off each other reminded me of Randy Johnson. Low three quarters, and the ball, it's just, you don't see it. And there's a lot of times I can say, well, you can say, oh, here's slider, whatever. I would have to look from the board. Because you had no clue. You just could not pick that slider up. And he's throwing 96 miles per hour, by the way. And Mendez was good too. Of course, I don't think he's quite as good as what Jamie Arnold was. But if you're going to win big time in that postseason, you got to have a dude at the front end of the station.
Yes.
And Pico kind of stumbled a little bit down the stretch, and we honestly we didn't have it. And you know, I hate admitting this. Florida State was better than we were.
No question.
They were. And, you know, our kids fought and battled and put themselves in position to go to a game on Monday. But Florida State is really talented. So, but yeah, that starting pitching, and that's something we got to find. You got to have a dude, man. You got to have somebody you can run out there and match up with anybody in the country if you want to be a serious national championship contender.
No doubt. Jay Powell on the Out of Bounds show, World Series champ with the Marlins. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. He was in Tallahassee over the weekend. Okay, you mentioned Cape Cod. What are you doing up there this summer?
I'm the pitching coach at Chatham, and we've got actually got 4 of our guys. Ace is supposed to be coming. I don't know if USA Baseball is going to take him away. Charlie Foster, Dane Burns, Duke Stone. I'm going to be up there this summer as the pitching coach with Chatham.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did it a few years ago and really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that group, you know, that level of kids, man. They're fun to coach. They're really talented. And it's a kind of a laid back environment, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm fortunate to have that opportunity.
What is the stint? Is it 4-6 weeks? How long is it, Jay?
It's about, well, I'll tell you this, I leave Saturday and I come back. The season ends August 3rd. So it's about 7 weeks.
Hey.
And, you know, that league was founded by Major League Baseball, and they tried to give the highest prospects in college baseball the kind of Major League experience. So they've actually cut the league down. It used to be longer than it is. But it's if you make the playoffs, you're up there for about 2 months.
Dang.
Not a bad place to spend the summer.
No. No humidity or very little. And
if you put a sweatshirt on a July afternoon, it's not too bad.
That's great. And I guess this is also a deal where you've got to manage pitchers and pitches and innings and things like that coming off the season.
Yeah, and like one of the guys coming up with us is Mendez, the kid that pitched last night.
Oh, nice.
You know, but he's going to be at probably 80 innings, and so you got some kids that'll come up halfway through, you know, that'll be there only for half a year. Some of them will be there the whole year. That's what I'm excited about, Charlie and even Dane and Duke. But you know, I say Charlie, I mean, because those guys need to pitch, and you know, we'll probably hopefully have those guys, but the main thing is we want to keep them healthy. We want to return them back to their university in a better position than they were, and as a better pitcher, but as a healthy player. So it's a little bit of a juggle roster wise as you go through the season, but it's a lot of fun.
I bet. Jay Powell on the Out of Bounds show. You mentioned Jamie Arnold. How do you feel? Where do you land or stand? Link Jarrett let him go almost 120 pitches the other night. Or this time of year when it's warm and a dude's rolling and warmed up, are you good with that? Would you cut it off at 90 or 100? Where do you stand with that, Jay?
I'm fine with it. I really am. I mean, he threw 100 and whatever it was, and what did he throw? 7 innings or 8, however many it was. I mean, to me, that is like Carson Liggins threw 101 in 4+ or 4 innings or whatever last night. I mean, you're to me, that's more taxing than going 120 through 7+. And I know that makes not a lot of sense, but those high intensity, high pitch count innings take a lot out of you. And this time of year, I mean, if he's been handled right all year, I got no problem with that. I think that, you know, now if you turn around 2 days later and bring him back, that's maybe getting a little different. But
sure,
no, I don't have a problem with either one of them. I think they handled it fine. I really do.
Yeah. All right. So, and yeah, you make a good point. Carson Ligon, and for what he is, and you may want to expound on this, but for what he is, I thought he really brought it yesterday. You know, hitting 96, 97. He was obviously jacked up. He's faced that team before when he was at Miami. But what you're saying is, I think it was the third inning, Jay. He had like a 35-pitch inning or fourth.
Yeah.
And those are the things that kind of eat you up. But if you're rolling right along like Jamie Arnold, it's just more rhythm and better for you is what you're saying.
That's my opinion. Correct. I mean, you look at, most starts, you'll have 2 innings that I call hump innings, where you got to go to the well to get out of that inning. And sometimes where they fall depends on how long you go in a game. I mean, if that inning, if you hit 105 pitches, but you have to throw 36 to get out of the 6th inning, then you may not be, you know what I'm saying? Whether that 36 comes in the 2nd inning and all of a sudden you've gotten a rhythm, it's just different, the amount of intensity and workload you have at what part it falls during the game. And Carson, it was almost every inning. I mean, he was, high-digit pitch counts and having to make really kind of high-leverage pitches and situations that, were season-ending.
What did you – I said this earlier. Mississippi State, the program that they need to have a roster like Florida State, both in the field and on the mound. You agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
I felt like there's just needed to out-recruit some of the players that they had. All right, so you've been in youth baseball. You've coached at J, Prep. I may have missed a spot. When people come up to you, you just mentioned, a 21-year-old who's dealing and throwing 10 to 15 max 20 pitches an inning. You're going to let him roll if he's feeling good, like a Jamie Arnold with Florida State.
Yeah.
When parents come up to you and they have a very talented kid and they ask you, this kid's 12, 13, 14 years old, what do you tell them as far as how much they should or shouldn't pitch, Jay?
Well, it's, that's where good pitching coaches earn their money, and people that kind of know what they're doing. Because to me, there's not you can't say don't throw over 70 innings a year. Don't throw, I think, you look at it as a basis and say, okay, this 12, we're 12, we want to keep him at say 60 innings for the course of the spring and summer, whatever. The thing that kills these kids, and I think what we're missing the boat on big time, is they're chasing velocity at a young age, and that's where we're ruining pitchers. When we got 12-year-olds and 13 and 10, and it's all velocity training, I mean, that's where we're having issues. And the analogy I get is, you go to the Corvette shop, you buy your brand new Corvette, and it is super fine, super talented, can haul butt, but every day we're going to go out there and we're going to redline it. It's not going to last. Like it's some people, that's what these kids are doing. I mean, they go and they train, they redline every bullpen, they go out there. I mean, it's just it's not built to sustain that, and that's why you're seeing so many kids now getting hurt. And to me, the pitching, the ability to pitch is falling off. And, they can say what they want and this and that, but all you got to do is watch it. The command of the fastball, the command of the secondary pitches, a lot of this it's not being taught anymore. And that's why it's all velocity. It's all hike it up, throw it as hard as you can, and let's try to beat them with velocity. And what really blows me away is you get kids throwing 96, 97 miles per hour, and, we recruit these car-throwing kids, and then they get on campus sometimes, and it's all everywhere across the country, and then we don't use the fastball, and then we just get so heavy with breaking balls, and I think, honestly, toward the end of Fox's career at State, that's kind of what got him. it got so breaking ball heavy, and you look through the sequences, and it was pretty easy to figure out what pitch is coming. And I think that's because we get scared of contact as a pitcher coach and as a pitcher, and it just snowballs from there.
I had a MLB guy say that it's almost, I want to piggyback off this real quick. I've only got a couple of minutes, but it's like they get them up into college and they nibble too much around the plate.
It's unbelievable. You know, hitting a baseball is hard to do. It's really hard to do. And you watch the way a lot of guys pitch, and look, there's some really talented guys. That aluminum bat is super hot, and you can make some pitches and it goes out of the park. But it's just when you pitch, we were always taught as pitchers, you pitch to contact. You want contact, but you want your contact. I want you to hit the ball the way I want you to hit it. You want, ground balls, you want easy out. I mean, they pitch away from contact, and you see it. But we got guys throwing the 9-hitter, 3-0 sliders that's hitting 210. There's a reason why I'm hitting number 9. I mean, it's stuff that I just scratch my head. And I'm not, look, we do it sometimes at state, but this is widespread. I'm not bashing Justin or any of these guys. I mean,
sure.
It's just, and as a coach, you fall in those sometimes where contact, you just get scared of contact, because if you get knocked around a little bit, you're like, take gum, I don't want to get up another one here. And it's tough. It's not easy, but I think sometimes we get scared of contact, and that's why you see nibble, 105 pitches through 5 innings.
It drives me crazy, Jay.
Yeah, it drives everybody crazy.
Damn. All right. Hey, man, I hope you have a great summer in the Cape, and thanks so much for the quick turnaround and jumping on today. We appreciate you.
Anytime.
Jay Powell on the Out of Bounds Show, All-American at Mississippi State and World Series champ for the Marlins, Jackson Prep, Jackson Prep, and now recently pitching coach. Now he's going up to Cape Cod, and he just mentioned all the guys that are going up there. That sounds pretty good for the summer, doesn't it? Pull over at night. Man. Hey, the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone ESPN lunch today is brought to you by Martin's in Livingston. They're open in an hour. 1 hour. Martin's in Livingston. Delicious blue plates, sandwiches, burgers, po' boys, and wings with a cool atmosphere. Don't forget, Martin's Market is also open. Milk, cold beer, and breakfast biscuits to go and all that kind of good stuff. Show is also brought to you by Madison Ridgeland Academy. They have a few slots open in the high school, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. You want to call today, 601-856-4455, and take a tour of the campus of Madison Ridgeland Academy. We'll see you tomorrow.